king of the hill, eh?
You're king of the hill.
I'm not Shane, you know who I am. I think we came up with the idea about a year and a half ago. We were wanting to do some type of challenge, some type of event to promote the business we just started, which was Hardcore Harry's. And for some random reason, we were like, yep, it's got to be last one standing because we had a couple of different ideas. Yeah, one of them sucked real bad. Remember that?
What was it?
One of them was it Run Around Albert Park?
Oh yeah,
It was we were going to do a 5k loop, 24 hours, I think it was. And it just had no zet.
I feel like that was my idea too.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but it was definitely. And Sam and I were arguing real hard. I was like, yeah, it's got to be this hill thing.
Yeah, in hindsight, it was a pretty bad idea.
Yeah, but then we landed on this concept, because we wanted to level the playing field. Like, we're not elite runners, but, you know, we've had a background in health and fitness for ages. So we wanted to choose an event that kind of like allowed non-runners to get more involved. And this is what we landed on.
Yeah, I think it like a last person standing event. It caters to so many different types of levels as well. So the elite athletes can continually go for as long as they'd like. Then we got to 75 hours in 2024 King of the Hill. But then you just everyday guys just want to get involved and get after it. You know, they might have done 5 laps, 5 hours, which is a really cool thing that we can kind of cater to such a broad market versus just those elite.
Yeah, because like you think about it in a normal, I guess, backyard ultra format where it's 6.7 Ks, like there's a lot of people who can't run 6.7 Ks continuously. Where when we drop the distance to 3.2, although there's this massive hill, people were drawn to it because I could do that, you know? So it allowed a lot of people to enter.
Yeah.
I think as well, like logistically, if we think about back when we first thought about the idea, it was a good idea, a crazy idea, but we're like, all right, now we need a hill. And like, how do you just find a hill that's going to work specifically for what we want with the right incline, space for people to camp, and all that. So we had the idea, but we didn't have a hill. Nah, the hill was probably like the biggest thing we had to climb. Because, yeah, like Ash said, like you can't just go Google, find me a hill. But we were really lucky in the place. Well, we're lucky in the place that we found because we managed to have like this festival atmosphere that we can create. There's heaps of space. We've got a good amount of, obviously, elevation, but then there's still a bit of flat running in there as well.
And it was like a good proximity to Melbourne as well, where we live.
Yeah.
I like a cool little community down there, Pylon as well. So yeah, it's good to like get like a community that's completely different to the Melbourne city.
Yeah.
Like the little community, there's such cool people down there. Like
yeah, up there. Sorry, it's just far enough that you feel like you're in country.
Oh yeah.
But you're also only 90 minutes from Melbourne, so it's pretty convenient to get to.
There are snakes and spiders, so.
How you said that though, like, yeah, apparently the athletes saw 2 snakes. Don't worry about that. But we just for 2 days didn't see a single snake. Last year, boys, what do we think?
That was a massive success. I'm extremely happy.
I'll just say one thing. We underestimated how hard it was going to be for us to set it up. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, it was an extremely hard event to set up. Like, it took us 3 full days of whippersniffering the hill, which was brutal. I mean, the athletes went through it a bit worse than us, but it was a really hard setup. I mean, we gave ourselves a week, so we went down and stayed there the week prior. And I thought that was going to be probably too much time, but it probably wasn't.
We were scrambling. It was scrambling.
A full week of, 15-hour days, and then we just got over the line. But in terms of the event itself, it was a huge success. Like, we couldn't have asked for anything to go better. Like, it just, it was awesome. It was so good.
Yeah, I think the athletes, they work so hard to put themselves in a position to get to 75 hours. That made it the best event possible starting for us. Like, if they had finished at 24 hours, it would just been just another weekend event, if that makes sense.
Well, that's when we were planning the distance, it was really hard for us to decide on what distance to do because, we got 266 meters of elevation gate edge loop. How much distance do we do? Because we wanted it to be hard enough that you're not going to be out there for 2 weeks, but also not so hard that you can't go down there and hit like 5 or 6 laps. And it worked out pretty well. We'll definitely be making some course adjustments for next year, which we'll talk about, but the distance in the vert did work. Yeah, I think, overall, the event was a massive success. Vendors were great. I think the camping setup was great. And I think the athletes enjoyed it.
And the volunteers. The volunteers are also, they put their hearts on the line for us. They were out there on the hill in the cold. Tell you what, men all sleep, like just absolute legends.
Felt pretty bad being like, all right, next one up to the top of the... So what's going to be different for next year? We're already planning so many different things. The event for us this year, or 2024, was really about like proving the concept. There's a lot of things we wanted to do, but we weren't sure. So 2025 is about like bringing some of these ideas that we had to life, like more festival vibes, the prize money, like we'll talk about that. So $10,000 is what we did last year. This year, 2025, we're going to be doing $40,000 in a total prize pool, $25,000 to the winner. So then 15K in like bonus prizes, which will just be made up of like different gifts, different cash rewards, etc.
The race itself, obviously looking at doing a course extension to make it a little bit harder, just because we felt like the guys at essentially, especially the top level, they found it maybe a little bit too easy, and we did get a little bit of feedback on that. So we will be extending the course. Outside of that, the live streaming.
Yeah, the live streaming. Like we put it in there as kind of like this last minute thing, like let's throw in a live stream, and it took off. We had so many people watching live. So this year we're going to do some crazy stuff with the live stream. Like it's going to be at the forefront is making sure, like if you're at home or you've got spectators, family watching it, it is an insane experience.
Yeah, because obviously 2024 we had our live stream just on the front line at the
and it was like we had no one managing it. It was just like we'll jump in there and quickly try and do it. Like people get angry out. Hey, can you put the camera there? Like I got told off so many times. Yeah, this year like we'll have someone manning the live stream the whole time. They'll be taking out all the 2 angles. Oh, the twist. Yeah, actually, I want to explain a little bit. So when we were planning the event for 2024, like we said, we were a bit unsure, like if the distance would be too short or too long. So we brought in a 48-hour twist, and we had that pre-planned from the day we organised it, just to make sure that, let's say we did undershoot it or overshoot it, we could create an adjustment so that it wasn't going on for 2 weeks. So last year we did or 2024, we did a delayed start, which essentially means that everyone would have to wait a minute in this waiting pen, and then that delayed start increased. So this year what we're going to do, we have the course extension, which is just a flat running course. We're not planning on adding any more elevation, but the twists will kick off at 24 hours and there will be a reduction each minute from 24 hours. So you can read about that. We've got to put in the event details where you can actually like study that. But now we're going to give you the twists so that you can actually train for it.
On the back end of our course, we had a really nice run where you could open up the legs after hitting some big hills. So adding this extra distance on there is going to let people have the opportunity to really open up the legs for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So it will probably be, I want to say, a more enjoyable experience than just smashing the hill the whole time. And
yeah, it does mean that you probably won't be able to walk it as you probably could this year. Yeah, that was one of the things we didn't want. Yeah. We didn't like how, if for the really elites, they were able to actually, there was small elements of running, but if they wanted to, they could essentially walk the course. Yeah. So this year, by adding that extra K of running, if they walked it, they'd be very unlikely to finish it in an hour, or they'd just have a very small amount of time left over. It's just going to put that pressure on people to make sure that they have to push. Otherwise, it will go on for too long. And we're not a backyard ultra. We don't want to be running the thing for 8 days straight. That's not what it's about. We want people to go in there and push their hardest over, a 2 to 4 day period. Yeah, you can have a support crew. The way the support crew works is you've got your own rest area, and you can bring 2 people in there at one time. So you'll be given wristbands. And then from those wristbands, you can just hand them out to the 2 people you want, and then you can interchange that. If you want to cut it off and hand it to them, that's fine too. And the rest area will remain 5 by 5 meters.
Probably just something to add there, if you are entering a bit a support crew is a really good thing to have, especially if you're planning on, if you got a big goal, even if you have a small goal, but if you have a big goal and you want to go a lot of hours, having those people there is going to be super important to you, because once you start getting tired, you've got minimal rest, it's very hard to start thinking about your nutrition and getting things on board. So having them with you is super.
I think that's one thing we noticed from the elites from the first one was their support crew at the end, the people that actually went the distance were massive for them.
Yeah.
Even their setup, like the marquees, you know, people just like chairs and sitting.
They were essentially managing the runners by the end. They were so tired that their support crew was just managing everything for them.
Yeah, that's why this year, 2025, we want people to stay too. It's one of the big things that we're trying to organise. Last year we noticed that people would finish, and then pack up. This year we're bringing in like showers so you can, finish your event, have a shower. So we encourage you for 2025 to set up as if you're going to camping, like a festival, get amongst it, stay around. Like we'll have food, there's tattoos, DJs, live stage, like all of those things so that, you're getting value for money so you can actually stay. Yeah, that's going to be sick.
I'm G'd up.
What do you need to bring to the race? Well, I mean, there's the minimums. You need things like water and food. But, I mean, if we explain some of the good setups and some of the bad setups, we had some people who literally one guy, Shane, you know who he bought a camping chair and an esky. I mean, he stayed for 24 hours.
He did really well. It was Shane's funny watching him just chilling in his chair in the sun beaming on, and then you got like someone next to him with a marquee and like esky and all this setup.
The best way to think of it is you're going camping, you're out in the elements. Like, what do you need to survive? Plan to be self-sufficient 100%. Don't rely on vendors. Shelter, like you need shelter, you need sleeping gear, whether it's a swag or a sleeping bag. You definitely need at least like 20 to 30 liters of water. Some guys brought like 10, definitely aim for like 20 to 30. Some of the other like creature comforts is like a jet boil, something to cook on.
Peru's Mrs. Therese,
she's to cook us.
She had a full kitchen setup. She was cooking everything.
Just
I think just putting into the elements as well. It was quite hot a couple of the days there, so I mean having some shade is going to be really important.
I think one thing that we should definitely recommend is fly nets.
Yeah, right. Yes,
everyone, spectators, athletes. So the actual course here. So it's a pretty grassy course. There's no gravel. There's no like bitumen. Pretty much grass the whole way through with elements of like dirt. There are rocks, definitely. You'll have like loose rocks going down and up the hill. I think one of the biggest obstacles on the course itself is there's these little grassy shrubs that are kind of like spotted around the course. Especially as you're going up the hill, they probably act as the biggest trip factors, you reckon?
The ground is quite, it's on certain parts of the hill itself, but outside of that,
it gives you false hope. So like when you're going down the hill, you'll see these what look like footholds, but they're almost just like piles of loose grass. So it can create quite a slippery surface. Apart from that though, once you've navigated the first hill and then you've gone down that hill, the rest of the course is pretty easy to navigate. There's nothing really unexpected, but training through like grassy terrains, that's probably the best way to get your training in for it. If you withdraw from the event, you can 100% stay and it's encouraged.
Yeah, we would.
What was that? Yeah, so the ticket, what it will get you, it'll get you the chance to win $25,000, which is a pretty good start. $15,000 in prize, bonus prizes. You got we're doing a King of the Hill event T-shirt. We've got tattoo voucher.
Your race back will cover the bunch of things. Our partners will be involved in those race backs.
Yeah, you get some free gear.
You'll likely get free stuff from our vendors on the day in terms of our partners' vendors.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, get your medal, and the medals are going to change. Yeah. For 2025. Yeah, so we brought in like a tier-based medal system, which is really cool. So don't quote me off it, but if you survive 10 hours, you'll get the first medal. If you go past 10 hours, you get the second medal. 24 hours is the third medal. So essentially, if you stay for 24 hour plus, you'll walk away with 3 awesome medals. You still have to engrave them yourself, but yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, and you'll get personalized photos. If you
Giant check.
yeah, if you win, you'll get 25k in the form of a giant check. The check's a novelty. You can't actually take it to Westpac and cash it. You can try. No, it's a direct bank transfer, so you'll pretty much get it instant.
We transferred it on the day.
Yeah, they go out.
And we said, as soon as they came back and they felt like they feel a little bit better, we said, give us your bank details, we'll put it in the account.
And her to transfer.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Yeah, so the mandatory gear that you have to have on person, you need to be wearing trail shoes, you need to have your mobile phone and charge working, you need to have a head torch between like last light and first light, which is roughly about 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. You've got to have your race beard, and and an emergency whistle. Apart from that, like things that we recommend and things that we saw, like some people brought like their actual vests. You don't necessarily need it because you've got it on your ear in your rest area, but definitely like a hat. It's not mandatory, but however, it would be sweater not to. Yeah, if it's hot, like it'd be silly not to wear a hat. And that's pretty much it. They've got a pretty small mandatory gear on person list. The mandatory gear that you have to have in your rest area is a little bit more extensive, but you'll see that in the information packs.
Yeah, it's probably good to note that since our course is quite short, obviously it goes in the loop and it ends at the start. You don't have to have a crazy amount of gear like these other ultras, because we've got support crew everywhere.
Wet weather is a sticky situation, but we have created a second course. It's an alternate course if we need to use it, which we won't really know until the day before Eve. Yeah, we have to use that course. What the proposed plan for the wet course is, for those who did the 2024 event, instead of you kind of swinging all the way around, doing a second climb up the hill, you would do what we are proposing is like a smaller loop that you go around twice. So that's the proposed plan, but that's subject to so many changes. The other thing to mention is with the wet, if it rains heavily, we will be allowing poles. So we would recommend from a training perspective that you have a pretty good understanding of how to use poles, otherwise it can be quite dangerous. Yes, there will be a live leaderboard. We're going to have a dashboard that shows obviously how many laps each participant's done. We're going to have the live stream, so that's going to show it all as well. Yeah. And I guess just to close off, guys, like this is our second time running this event. We're pretty excited to do this for the second time round. It was probably one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done. Yeah, well, smoke it. So, yeah, we just appreciate all of your support. And if you've come this far watching this video, thank you. And we hope to see you in 2025. Sweet. No, I mean, what does the way?